Okay, everybody, it's time to talk games. Let's check out Star Wars Outlaws. Listen, we just got done from watching an Acolyte review, and I'm all charged up. Don't even get me started. So I just need to relax a little bit, and I need to watch some of this Star Wars Outlaws gameplay. Morphologis is going to talk about it. Let's check it out. Okay, by the way, this is a cutscene. This isn't planetary landing tech. This is not what we come to know with Star Citizen fans. This is, I believe, one giant cutscene where you're going from space to gameplay on the planet. It's like a transition piece, right, with like a whole bunch of VFX going on here. So let's check this out. It's probably smooth or seamless, like Morphologis is saying, but let's not be fooled by the tech that we're seeing here. At least, you know, that's what I'm drawing conclusions to when I'm watching this. Still better than Starfield. By the way, I want to land my own ship. I want to do all this stuff that you're seeing done in a cutscene. Now we're kind of seeing like the cutscenes, and you know the transitions are smooth, but like, you know, I'm old school simulator kind of dude, and I want to be able to do all this myself. But okay.
So I just got an early look at what Star Wars Outlaws open world is going to look like, courtesy of Ubisoft.
Arcane says, I would love to see someone land like that. Dude, if you watch my old Elite Dangerous gameplay, you will see somebody land like that. Can I get an amen?
Yes! Can I get an amen? Yes!
One of the coolest things about Elite Dangerous is, man, when you're landing in those ports, man, you're landing in those stations. I love that about Elite Dangerous. When you're landing and taking off in those stations, man. Dude, just watch Bring in the Dangerous. You'll see landings like that all the time. All day long song, man.
Ubisoft, and it turns out that it's almost seamless. I'll unpack that in a bit. I
would use Star Citizen as an example, but the flight model's so borked right now that I'm not going to use it until they get the flight model right. You know what I'm saying, Erad? Just saying.
Recently invited to a virtual pre-screening event showcasing a brand new vertical slice of the game, and I've been pleasantly surprised at how far its scope extends. It's answered a lot of important questions that I had, and personally has left me more excited than I had anticipated to get my hands on a copy for myself. That said, it probably won't meet some fans' expectations of what they feel a story-driven open-world game should be, but speaking only for myself, I feel like I finally have a Star Wars open world game to look forward to that's going to scratch an itch that I've had since the shutdown of Star Wars Galaxies so many years ago. So let's dive in, and if by the end you think I did a good job and you want to see more content like this, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and share with your friends, so I know that you guys want to see more content like this. So Star Wars Outlaws is set to be the first truly open world.
I mean, it's an open world. That's cool. I mean, the environments look good. The AI and the NPC are acting good. I mean, the environments look very rich.
Star Wars title, following the story of a scoundrel named Kay Vess, her little friend Nix, and an unlikely companion named ND5, a commando droid left over from the Galactic Civil War, as they slowly get caught up in a bigger story. All is taking place sometime between The Empire Strikes Back and The Return of the Jedi, when the rebellion was in full swing. That's at least what it says on the box, but the real question in my mind has been leading up to this is what they mean by an open world. Thankfully, the footage is finally
Exactly. What do they mean by an open world?
Giving some answers. Looking at the gameplay, there are clear signs in this new footage that some of the story and mission locations are more linear in nature, with some possible Metroidvania style level design to invite later revisits, with a much larger world outside of that for us to travel in between each location and mission. It very much reminds me of the Jedi Fallen Order series style of world design, but with a much bigger open world to explore. The big thing that this confirms for me, though, is that Outlaws will indeed feature cutscenes for transitioning between planets and space, with likely few to no option outside of perhaps scripted.
I don't like how everything slows down like that. That is so easy mode. You know, when you're like, you know, like I get it, like selecting the items and these kiddos, they got it, you know, like, oh, I don't want to get hurt when I'm selecting shit. Well, I don't know. That kind of ruins the immersion for me when those slow-mo takes happen when you're looking through inventory. I'm not really big into that.
Cutscenes to find out.
It also looks very arcadey, like the flight. I mean, the flow is good. The physics are good. The graphics are good. And it does have that kind of seamless polish to it, but there's got to be more than just the polish. It's got to be more than just like that surface vibe. You know what I mean? There's got to be depth to it. So far, on the depth scale, on the immersion scale, I'm not feeling it.
Atmosphere. It looks like each planet then will have a series of prescribed landing areas and surrounding spacescapes,
which
gameplay will take place in a more open world format. This is then almost certainly going to exclude the possibility of us being able to land anywhere. That said, the transitions are really well done in the footage that we've seen here, stitching together the experience in a way that feels almost seamless. When I think about it logically, something like that probably shouldn't matter that much next to gameplay considerations, but coming to the conclusion that it doesn't matter at all was a mistake that Bethesda's Starfield made that massive entertainment the developers of Outlaws seem to have clearly learned from. The footage then shows that they put some effort into smoothing over what are effectively loading screens while simultaneously still delivering what looks to be an expansive gameplay space. How expansive, though, is still left up for speculation, but if the speeders are any indication, they're big enough to need some kind of ground transport to get around on, and that's a good sign. As for how many planets and star systems...
Can you go first-person mode when you're flying, or is it all third-person? Because I'm not big into that. I definitely want to be sitting in the cockpit flying, and if this is the way you're flying, it is all third-person, and it's way too arcadey for me if that is the case. I don't want to be third-person flying. I want to be first-person flying, you know?
Will have on release, the gameplay still doesn't yet reveal that information. So far we know though that we'll at least have access to 5 planets or systems: Akiva, Cantonica, the home of the Casino City Cantobite, Kajimi, Tatooine, and Tashara, each likely with a variety of landing areas and likely nearby space locations to explore.
Red's like, hey, it was cool when I played this kind of game in 2003, right? And in 2003, they even did it better in terms of the flight because you were able to sit in the cockpit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like this third-person arcadey shooter does have that early 2000 vibes to it, you know?
One such is going to be an Imperial...
And Diva's right. It does look good, though. I mean, like, in their defense, it actually does look good, but it needs to do more than just look good.
Space refueling station, which is shown actually in this new footage. We also got a great little sampling of what we can expect from the landing locations, with some good footage of the new landing zone Miragana City on the planet of Tashara. It feels rich and expansive with some hints of side quests to discover and locations to explore as we progress through the story. I also love just how alive it feels with NPCs going about their business and how the architecture feels like it's a part of the Star Wars universe, having that iconic retro-futuristic yet rundown look that Star Wars has become known for. Looking at the general gameplay mechanics, the movement and combat also look to be fluid and engaging with sharp animation transitions between different states. Yet another aspect that I think is heavily influenced by the work of Respawn Entertainment's Fallen Order. That's not necessarily a bad thing though, as it worked really well for 1 and 2, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and I think applies nicely to this new character, minus the force powers of course, probably. And they even have their own version of BD1, Nyx, who has their own set of abilities. But Outlaw also looks to differentiate itself a little bit by pushing stealth gameplay a bit more as a preferred mechanic, showing off various ways to avoid and evade enemies alongside ways to dispatch them very quietly. I particularly like the mechanics around using Nyx to distract, disarm, or even pickpocket unsuspecting enemies. I'm not sure if run and gun then will be an easier alternative to this, but my hope is that stealth gameplay will be rewarded more than brute force. After all, a non-force sensitive user shouldn't be able to take down platoons of troopers and hordes of gang members head-on without some serious consequences. Aside from the use of the pistol then, there's also signs that we'll be able to loot and equip other varieties of weapons. The gameplay showed off, for example, the use of an E11 and a number of lootable weapons along the way in some other bits of footage. It also looks like we'll have some alternatives.
You know what it really looks like? It looks too easy. It doesn't look like there's much of a challenge. You know, are you guys feeling that too as you watch this? It looks like it looks easy mode to me.
Like use of grenades and world destruction and even environmental effects that can help us evade when we get in a pinch. And then there's a good set of non-combat focused mechanics like some hacking mechanics as well as some kind of door picking mechanic through a droid servo key interface type thing that looks really hacked together and perfect for the character who is a scoundrel, thief, and outlaw. And of course, no Star Wars open world game would be complete without some form of space combat and exploration. And Outlaws looks to deliver a very classic Star Wars space combat experience, something akin more to an arcade style of combat as opposed to something a little bit more in depth like shown in Star Wars Squadron.
I tell you what I would like the soundtrack. I would like the Star Wars soundtrack while flying and blowing shit up, and I would like the sound effects. Like I can tell the game would have good sound effects and like that soundtrack that would like get all intense and shit, but I just can't get over the third person view on the, oh my goodness, Yar, Mongrel Squad coming in. What's up, agents? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for that 20 Mongrel Squad charge. Yar, 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 coming in and lighten our world up, man. We're talking about Star Wars Outlaws right now. Yar. Well, you know, like Mongrel being the most exciting part of this video, man. You guys totally made it more exciting now. Because like Star Wars Outlaws is really it looks very shallow in depth, and it doesn't even feel very outlaw kind of to me. I'm watching this hoping for some shred of reason to play this, and it's like, nope, I can't. Oh, another raid, a back-to-back raid.
Yes, you're not gonna hit me.
Back-to-back raid. Holy smokes. Hope you guys had a good stream. Thank you, agents. Thank you, Borderlines. Appreciate you guys. Hello, Mongrel Squad. What's up? By the way, we are having a giveaway. We are giving away an RSI Polaris. We give away amazing things every single month. If you want to get involved, just become a member. Let me put the link in here for everybody. Boom. $600 concierge RSI Perseus with the Thundercloud skin. Ha ha. And lifetime insurance. Do it.
But with the game not centered around space combat exclusively, this can be forgiven so long as it's entertaining and feels like Star Wars, which from the footage it at least seems like it accomplishes. Also revealed here though is that we're gonna have crime stats while playing the game, a kind of wanted level if you've played something like GTA 5. If you look at the upper left hand corner, it shows a wanted rating by the Imperial faction and that we need to clear it in order for us to safely get away from the faction before we get too overwhelmed and get killed or captured. And on the surface, it looks like all of this is going to tie together in a pretty convincing way to deliver an immersive experience that's very different from anything we've seen before in the Star Wars universe, allowing us to live through the eyes of somebody who isn't the one selected by the Force or part of the major main thread line of the story of the Star Wars universe. But that certainly doesn't mean there's not going to be any tie whatsoever in the story to the wider story of Star Wars. Throughout the gameplay demo, there were some hints that the story of Kay is going to tie into things like Crimson Dawn, which, if you remember from your lore, was the criminal syndicate started by Darth Maul.
That's
in fact, the entire sequence you guys are seeing here with this part of the gameplay takes place in an enclave owned by Crimson Dawn. But before you guys get your hopes up that you're going to see a cameo by Darth Maul, he's already passed on by this point in the story if you've watched Star Wars Rebels. I won't say how in case you guys have not seen it yet and don't want it spoiled, but suffice it to say, someone else has already taken over by now and it's probably another Force user. The game is also described to give us choices that will affect the story as a whole. I suspect that may then hint at us choosing sides or helping sides. But
okay, well that's good. At least there's replayability and choosing like choose your own adventure choices. But like I gotta say though, nothing too exciting in this. Like nothing's really making me feel like I want to play this. You know what I mean? Like give me something spicy. Give me something a little bit more. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's the way Morph is like presenting this, but like I'm not feeling like the need to go out and get this title or feel like I need to go out and buy it. I want something I can clench onto. I want something I can bite into and you know. And I'm not feeling it. Are you guys feeling it? Let me know if you guys are feeling it. If you're not feeling it, like me, put a 1 up in the chat if you're not feeling this at all. I'm going to put a 1 up in my own chat because I'm not even feeling it. Like there's no feeling here. It's like, it's kind of like the shit Disney's pumping out, you know, like when is the last time you actually felt like Star Wars bit or you bit into it or Star Wars bit into you? It's been forever. It's been forever, man. Which is, I was talking about this when we were watching that Acolyte review, and Acolyte's complete piece of garbo. When is the last time you really felt Star Wars like you felt it when you were a kid, man? It's been so long, and you always want to go back to it because you remember being a kid, how it used to make you feel. And then every time you're getting involved in the Star Wars franchise these days, it's like just running into a wall with your face first, man. Like every single time. I do it every single time. Thank you, Tide. Thank you, Alanaki. Thank you for the follow, Alanaki. Thank you for the follow, Tide. Welcome aboard, man. I'm so upset, though, man. Like, I want that old Star Wars vibe back where, like, I don't want to go away, where I want to be addicted to it, where I want to keep coming back, where I'm out and about. I'm thinking about the title. I want to come back. I want to play it again. You know, like, those are the days I miss. Can I get an amen?
Yes! Can I get an amen? Yes!
I mean, let's talk about SWG. I mean, God, I lived on SWG. like, come on, man. I mean, like, where's the SWG vibes? Where did that go? Where, you know, like, give me something that I want to come back to. Give it to me. Give me the goddamn feeling. Where is it at? Where's the feeling in it? Where's the feeling in Star Wars? Give me the goddamn force, not the thread. Give me the force. Corpo ate it. Backspace is right, man. Backspace, dude. Don't let the darkness swallow you up. Don't turn into a Sith right now, Backspace. Be an old school Jedi Knight, dude. Don't you dare turn into a Sith right now, Backspace. God damn it, it's too late. It's never too late. I will never give up on you, Backspace. I will turn you back to... God damn, man. It's flat. It's flat. You know, I mean, it's got a good look. It's probably got great sound effects and a wonderful theme. But like other than that, nothing else.
Between the Imperials or the Rebels that will influence our end story.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Produce a Star Wars title that makes me feel old school Star Wars again. Just do it. Is it that hard? I feel like we as a community could think of something using the narratives that we grew up on to create an amazing Star Wars title. Like, I feel like we could do a better job. If we banded together and made a Star Wars game, I feel like we could create something amazing together and blow everyone up out of the water, dude. Like, I just literally feel like there's so many brilliant people here in the chat that know what I'm talking about with the feels of Star Wars that we could literally band together, find ourselves some developers and make something like old school again. And just blow the doors off of everybody. And people would just be like, oh, yeah, well, this is it. This is the feeling. This is the vibe. It's it just feels washed out. The whole franchise is washed out and broken and dead. And I gotta, like, it's a sad day. It's a sad day because I'm coming to the conclusion that I have to shut the lid on the coffin, that it is over, that I can't resuscitate this. It's just the way that it is. And I got to just, like, it's dead. Star Wars is dead. Today, I will say it in the style of the witches' coven from the Acolyte. It's dead. It's dead. It's dead. It's dead. Okay, it's all dead. It is all dead, for God's sake. And it is a sad rip Star Wars. Today is the day that I say it. It's live here. It's a sad day. It's like losing a loved one. Like, it's literally like losing a loved one. I grew up on Star Wars, and it's like somebody I know has died. I have to close the book, remember the good, and just, okay. All right. It's dead. God damn it. It's dead.